good. Okay, very good.
Good morning and welcome to another episode of Hard Factor. It is Thursday, February 4th, 2021, episode number 618. And I tried breast milk. You guys got to download Stereo app. Pat and I were on it yesterday afternoon. And I tried my wife's breast milk, fellas. And
first time.
Yeah, first timer. Tasted much better than I expected.
Breast milk wheel.
Well, you said it was better cold than warm, right?
Oh, much better.
Yeah.
Well, warm milk in general is pretty unbearable. So it makes a lot of sense that cold would be much better.
Yeah, I didn't really even have to put a gun to your head. You were kind of like, "What, Pat? Do you want me to try it? Do you want me to try it right now?" I'll try it, Pat. Fine. And I was like, "Oh, okay."
Well, it was a live stereo show. You guys
It's hot.
Yeah.
We know Will do anything if you tell him to on stereo.
Or don't.
It's one of the first things you do though once breast milk is in the house is you try it usually.
I was scared of it until then. I was like, this is a good time.
Nothing to be scared of. Ask any weightlifter.
A little sweet, right? Or people buying it to get over COVID. We also grappled with the realities. I'm becoming a wagon man again. Went down from an SUV. What do you guys, Mark West? How was your day? How was your Wednesday? What'd you guys do?
I was good. I was trying to moderate your show. You guys didn't send me a link.
We'll get that fixed.
It was good. I was hanging out. Got some things done around the house. What about you, Wes?
Good. I took the little guy to the driving range. Yeah, showed off my. There's a story if you want to check out the Ace sweatpants in action from Matt Golden.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Wes, I do have one question for you. Well, I also would really rather point it out.
What's that?
Wes wasted no time at Larry King's death to assume his set. I don't know if you guys all see the lights behind him, but Wes is going for that Larry King vibe. I don't know if you guys.
Oh shit!
Oh damn!
It does. Oh, it does look a lot like the Larry King.
Wow.
Yes.
Even the lights. So
It looks like Larry King's set also died and then made its way to Wes's.
Right.
Yeah, it's like
the
a shell of a
Costco
set.
version.
Yeah.
It's the Costco version, really.
Oh,
so,
the Costco Larry King.
Speaking of Costco, are you saying maybe he should pop in and get some suspenders at Costco? Maybe get that going.
Yeah. Get some suspenders, slick back the hair. I think you kind of have a little gray hair, right? That'll work.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, you can't really see it, but yeah, I can get a slick back version of Larry King going and just push my shoulder blades.
Oh
really
man,
good.
can we make that your persona going forward?
Well, also you could smoke on
Awesome.
set for that too.
Yeah, and stop talking to your son too.
Whatever you want. You can marry, remarry, unmarry. Also, before we start, isn't there a new citizen of Japan? Do you have a picture of this? Isn't someone?
They got a newbie in Japan.
There's a new citizen in Japan. It's Godzilla. Godzilla has become a Japanese citizen.
Oh wow! Look at that.
Check it out officially. Yeah.
Fantastic.
You guys You guys have seen the preview for the new Godzilla Kong, right?
Of course.
No.
Yeah.
Does it
Oh,
look
you
good?
haven't? Oh, it looks amazing.
Wes is a big monsters.
Oh, monsters
guy.
top 3 genre for me.
Monsters. Speaking of Mountain Monsters TV show, get into it. We all have to, and we'll start reviewing those.
For sure.
Okay, let's move it along. We got 8 stories to get to. First one is a political lightning round. Politics are boring, so let's talk about 6 different topics in 5 minutes. First up, the Q Shaman has finally been granted organic food in jail by a federal judge on Wednesday after his hunger strike led to his health deteriorating. The lawyer said, send him home or give him organic food. The judge says, fine, organic food. You get it, finally, Q Shaman.
What if that was like a backfire? He just wanted to get released. He doesn't even like organic food. He's like, fuck. They called his bluff.
I think it was. I think it was.
It was like a bluff that they called.
Yeah.
His mom came to the jail or came to court and then gave like a presser outside about how her son's a pussy.
Landed on thick, yeah.
Well,
I think that was to get out of jail.
They've been cahoots for years, Pat. She knows how to play the scam with him.
It was an attempt to get out of jail.
Yeah.
Yeah. Attempt to get out of jail. Did not work. He's getting organic food instead. Next, the Biden administration has vowed to not deny entry to the United States to, quote unquote, unaccompanied migrant children at the border. So they're opening up overflow facilities to put kids in cages.
Warehouses.
Yes. That's what they're doing. Guess it's no longer the preferred nomenclature, though. Dudes, it's unaccompanied migrant children. Bubba, you can hit them with the Simpsons meme anytime you feel like it. Trump of the left, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, AOC. Tim Dillon is also in on that take with me now, fellas. Has made another boo-boo. Turns out that AOC was in the Cannon building or some other House of Reps office building and not in the Capitol. The House of Reps building this is on January 6th, during her near-death experience. She was not in the Capitol.
She was in D.C.
She was on Capitol Hill in a building that was not breached by rioters. We've got another meme for that, Bubba. Yeah, there it is. Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's just watching it on TV like the rest of us.
That's a twofold issue, right? Issue one, obviously, is she cried Smollett. Issue two is it was a joint session of Congress. She was supposed to be there. What was she doing?
She was skipping out. She was in her office.
She got caught skipping. I mean,
not on the floor.
Her defense was like one of the pipe bombs might have reached her or something.
No. She was like, if they were around our building too, we had to evacuate too.
Oh man,
blah, blah,
this is
blah,
a real Steve Ranazizi situation.
Yeah, it gave me Brian Williams vibes, but yeah.
Right, the helicopter, but he wasn't in the right helicopter.
Well, she also took the picture in front of the fence that one time. With she's a big lie about where she is.
Yeah, that's the meme.
Real quick, back to the cages. We don't know that there are cages there.
It's overflow facilities for children. What do you think they are?
They're not on moon bounces.
You want to call them, you want to call them fences? Do you want to call them... What do you want to call them?
Trailer parks? I don't know.
What isn't a cage, really?
They're not in suites.
They can't leave.
They're not being collected and rounded up.
It's not the Ritz-Carlton.
No, but Ranazizi beats the shit out of Brian Williams. He was the guy that said he was in September 11th, the guy from the league.
Oh, that's intense.
And then just wasn't. At least Brian Williams was actually in the air.
He was. That's why AOC gives me the vibe, because she was like on Capitol Hill, but she was not.
She was one building over. He was one helicopter behind.
She was watching it on C-SPAN and ordering Uber Eats like the rest of us. Trump attorney and insane human Lin Wood is being investigated for, hold your breaths, you guessed it, voting illegally in Georgia, which is very ironic considering what he was Trump's attorney for. Turns out Lin may have voted in Georgia despite living in South Carolina. Nice for an election attorney, Lin Wood.
Well, he knew which state would be closer.
Yeah. I mean, did he vote twice? If he didn't vote twice, who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
The election's over. Let it be.
They're just fucking with him, I think. John Kerry took a private jet to Iceland to accept an award for being so extremely climate conscious. And speaking of the climate, activist Greta Thunberg accidentally posted a tweet of an ad read order she got from some social influencing buyer who was instructing her to tweet about specific social topics. Pretty embarrassing for Greta. Welcome to the ad read biz.
Yeah, that's pretty boilerplate, like suggesting but not suggesting, you should tweet this.
For X amount of dollars, exactly
and
say this.
She released that for some reason.
Who gives a shit?
Well, it was just an accident.
Does a tweet cost carbon? No.
No, I think
it's just an accident. I just think it degrades her celebrity status.
A lot of people are like, so she's being manipulated. She's a teenager, and who's pulling her strings?
Clearly somebody.
A lot of people. I'm sure she's passionate about the environment. I don't doubt that. But like, who's paying her to do stuff? And what are their motivations more than hers?
Extra motivation to be passionate about it.
Yeah,
that's tough.
Who the fuck's paying her?
It's a real it's like a catch-22 that like you're 16 and have enough money to buy a sick car, but
you want to cash in on it. Yeah.
But you're also like a climate warrior, so you're not going to buy a car. You know?
But you are though. She's going to buy so many Teslas with whatever money she got from that ad read, and also the stimulus will be $1,400 because apparently that plus the last $600 equals the $2K checks that were promised, and we'll see when those get here. But that's it for the political lightning round.
Well done. Thank you. Now I know. All right. Well, Amazon had a big news week. That's why I'm calling this segment Amazon and the Terrible, Horrible, No Good, Very Bad Week. So let's start with the Terrible, Horrible. And that's Amazon is being forced by the Federal Trade Commission to pay their delivery drivers $62 million in tips they stole from them. Whoops.
That's a lot of tips.
Whoops.
They took the tips.
Whoops.
That's a little bit bigger than like a restaurant that just fucks their employees out of like a couple hundred a night.
It's like if a restaurant employed 1 million people and was everywhere in every single city.
Oh, man.
Yeah, it's
Speaking of that.
It's like if the Cheesecake Factory did it.
There's nothing worse. then when you're at a restaurant, right? Like it's a job you desperately need, and then you get like the good shift, like the bartender shift, and then the guy that owns the restaurant takes the other bartender shift,
Right.
and he's just cleaning up, just making a gravy 400.
The Friday night, yeah, the
and they
Friday
don't,
night
like,
shift,
split
yeah.
the tips or anything.
Right.
It's just
well,
like
they take their portion
their
of
own.
tips.
you're
They get
just
their
second.
own.
You're
Yeah.
just second fiddle. You get like a 50. Nice work,
Yeah.
kid.
Is there an option to tip Amazon drivers? I don't think I've ever seen that.
For sure. Well, let's get into it. According to the FTC, Amazon intentionally failed to notify drivers of their change in lowering the guaranteed hourly pay. They instead used drivers, so they lowered the hourly pay, and then to cover their asses, they used drivers' tips to make it seem like they were getting paid the same hourly rate. So they would take the difference, like for example, it was like, well, let's call it 20, and it went down to like say 15. So they would take $5 worth of tips per shift and like per hour and move it into the bottom line of hourly pay. And that means they didn't get those tips as tips. They got less tips than they earned. And it was, so that's what they did. The acting director of the FTC's Bureau of Consumer Protection, Daniel.
And then they just pocketed the overflow.
Yeah, they pocketed the overflow. 100%.
Criminal.
100%.
Holy
Well, the
shit,
FTC
they
got
knew
involved.
exactly what they were doing.
Yeah, fuck yeah. The FTC got involved. They fined them $62 million. The FTC's Bureau of Consumer Protection, Daniel Kaufman, said rather than passing along 100% of customer tips to drivers, as it had promised to do, Amazon used the money itself. Our action today returns to drivers the tens of millions of dollars in tips that Amazon misappropriated and requires Amazon to get drivers' permission before changing its treatment of tips in the future. FTC, you might want to look into what Instacart was doing to delivery drivers in 2018 as well. Now that you've tackled the Amazon fuckery. Yeah. I just saying, Instacart did something very similar, changing the tip functionality in 2018, where it looked like it was tips to the drivers and it wasn't. I have worked part-time sporadically for both companies during the time frames. So firsthand and from people I know, I can tell you they fucking rip you off.
You can tell Instacart's you could tell that Instacart is ripping off their drivers who are, and Instacart's also ripping off the customers. Instacart's ripping off both the drivers and the customers.
Instacart just fired all of their in-store people too. Every single one of them. They went to an all-contractor thing, so everyone's getting fired from Instacart.
Yeah.
Nice job, Amazon Instacart. What's next?
Maybe short that one, people.
Yeah. Well, they're going to an I don't know if we might have to cut that. I don't know. I think they're okay. Never mind. What's next? Jeff Bezos is no longer the CEO of Amazon. He will step down as CEO this summer and turn over the reins to Andy Jassy, who runs the cloud computing business. Huh? That's weird. Where's he going? Is he going to an island forever at 57 to retire as the second richest man in the world? Oh wait, it says here he is just switching roles and will become the executive chairman of Amazon's board, or God.
Yeah. Well, it's called picking a shield is what he's doing. He's saying, "Hey, Andy, you're my shield.
You're my fall guy.
You little pawn bitch." Did I call you a pawn, Andy?
Yeah,
I meant rook.
Pat, 100% agree with you. It's a no good trick, and he's just trying to get out of the limelight so he can send more dick pics without having half of TMZ get it the same day.
You guys got it all wrong. He is jealous of Elon. Elon did this last year, and Bezos, Elon blew past him on Richest Man.
I agree with you on that part.
Everything Elon does gets under Bezos' skin, and so he had to catch up. He had to keep up with Elon and do this move.
I 100% agree with you on the richest man getting under his skin. I think that Elon's is a little bit different because the SEC or whoever.
It makes it even worse for Bezos because he was forced to. So Elon's like a bad boy. Elon's even on top of that, the bad boy.
I'm with you, Will. I even wrote, you can't tell me this isn't because Elon Musk took over as world's richest man. Bezos is about to go on a heater. I bet his mistress got the ass fucking of a lifetime the day Musk passed him on the list. Lots of aggression in that bald meathead. You can just see it.
Also, to sit and just see Musk with his having enough hair to have hair transplants.
Ooh, that burns.
Bald.
Check him out.
Oh my gosh.
Bezos 98 to 2017.
Pretty funny.
If he had jumped on it in 98, that's what Musk
ripped
was
into
like
them.
in 98.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's a bald meathead now. Lastly, we come to the very bad. This one is a double very bad. Amazon released the design for its very badass new headquarters in Arlington, Virginia. You can see it's pretty crazy looking, right? The
Tower of Babel, people are calling it.
The one, well, they're calling it the Helix because it's corkscrew
glass thing. Yeah.
It's a glass building, wrap around 350 feet tall, covered in trees. It's like, they're going to give tours on the weekends.
Trees inside the office. That's pretty bad.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. They have that in Seattle in the Spheres is one of their things in Seattle. But the Helix, it's a corkscrew shape that is supposed to take inspiration from the natural beauty of a double helix. It's also a tongue-in-cheek reference to the rest of the city, as the helix again is the same shape as a corkscrew, which is the first thing everyone in the surrounding area will be diving to open a bottle of wine when they finally get home from their hour-plus commute from very bad traffic. Thanks to Amazon HQ. It equals a lot of new employees, a lot of cars.
The Beltway's getting
rent
even
increase.
worse.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
unbelievable.
So that's the very bad. When you do get home from your commute, whether you're in Arlington or anywhere, after a hard day, maybe you want to have a hard night. And you can do that with BlueChew.com.
Oh, the hardest.
With Blue Chew, you can increase your performance and get that extra confidence in bed. BlueChew.com, that's blue like the color blue. Blue Chew brings you the first chewable with the same active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis. You can take them anytime, day or night. Blue Chew is the fast and easy way to enhance your performance and confidence where it counts, if you know what I mean. You're going to be able to break through concrete blocks with your cock like it's a karate exhibition.
You're gonna want to put a foam on any corners in your house.
Yeah.
You're gonna want to soften those corners.
It could get a little painful.
I'm stuck. Blue Chew is prescribed online by licensed physicians, so you don't have to go to the doctor's office or wait in line at the pharmacy, and it ships right to your door in a discreet package. They're made in the USA, and since Blue Chew prepares and ships direct, they're cheaper than a pharmacy. And right now, they're very cheap because we've got a special deal for you. Visit BlueChew.com and get your first shipment free when you use our special promo code HARDFACTOR. Just pay $5 shipping. Again, that's BLUECHEW.com, promo code HARDFACTOR to try it free. Blue Chew is the better, cheaper choice, and we thank them for sponsoring our podcast. When you support our sponsors, you help make this podcast possible. That couldn't be more true. So be sure to use promo code HARDFACTOR at BlueChew.com.
Nice. All right, guys. From November 2012 to January of 2013, the citizens of Chino Hills, California were terrorized, specifically the women of Chino Hills, California, were terrorized by a man with a problem. Over 20 burglaries were committed during that time frame, and it wasn't just Chino Hills. Residents in 5 other communities in California experienced the wrath of one man, and each burglar was the same. You see, Diego Aguirre was a man on a mission, and that mission was panties. Yeah, he's just
Dirty.
Was he
Dirty
wearing
or
them?
clean?
Yeah.
He didn't. I don't think he cared what kind they were. He just wanted them. The cops started to notice a pattern with the burglaries.
I bet he wanted the dirty ones way worse. But
Yeah, well, wait a minute. Let's answer Will's question. The dirty ones.
He stole
straight to the hamper.
everything that was around a woman's crotch they could get his hands on. Doesn't matter.
He's not shoplifting at Victoria's Secret. It's not that kind of thirst.
No.
He went to the hamper first. We'll say.
Hamper. That's what I'm saying.
So the cops started.
and
building
it's more thrilling because it's probably close to where she sleeps.
Right?
Yeah.
Well,
Who knows?
What? I'm just saying. You gotta get inside the mind of a criminal to
it was a little
understand
bit-
them.
it was a little bit too natural.
Hey, look, we're trying to bust these guys. All right, we got to get behind. We got to understand.
Yeah. Well, the cops started to notice a pattern with the burglaries. That pattern being that panties were the main target of the thief, which eventually led them to Diego and his treasure trove of panties.
The cop was like, he went for the hamper first, didn't he?
Yeah.
Bet he would.
Ma'am,
We're
it's
seeing this.
how many were from the hamper?
Let me
This-
guess.
yeah, this is
Let me
how it
guess.
started. This is how they got him.
Was your
You-
hamper
you-
turned upside down?
You can just dust the hamper for Prince.
Yeah, you don't want to smell that pile, man. You don't want to smell that pile.
The CSI just only goes to the hamper.
Yeah. Yeah.
She's like, this drawer is where I keep them. No,
Nope.
we don't care,
Yeah.
man.
You're not gonna find anything. Not gonna find any prints in that drawer, man.
What day's laundry day, man?
So anyway, in October 2014, he was sentenced to 17 years in prison for burglary and possession of stolen property. But because of some good behavior, he was released after just 7 years in April of 2020. However, the Inland Empire Panty Bandit, as he was dubbed, just couldn't fight off the urge of panties. He would he'd drive by homes in Chino Hills and think to himself, look at all these homes with all these panties, just begging for Diego to take them. So he started doing the exact same thing that landed him in jail before in the exact same way.
Wait,
It
how
didn't-
many years was he already in jail
He
for?
was in
7?
jail for 7 years.
Well, they let him out
Oh,
10 years
damn.
early.
Yeah.
What kind of parole hearings were they having? Why didn't they just like stick a hamper in the room and not
He's
even
like,
ask him a question?
I swear to God,
Yeah,
I will
just
never
look at his
touch-
eyes.
Start sweating.
Yeah, he starts. Look where his eyes go when you have a hamper in the parole room.
You say you're over the panties, Diego.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
I'm not going to get out this year.
With dirty panties.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he started doing the exact same thing in the exact same way, just turning over hampers. And it didn't take investigators long to see that the new burglaries were the work of Diego. And he hadn't changed a thing. Here's a clip from one of his victims' crotches.
It would be different if he just took the cash, money, other tangible items. But the fact that my underwear and very personal, intimate items were stolen just made me feel completely disgusting. Every time I would open up my dresser drawer and see that it was empty just made me sick to my stomach and want to throw up.
It actually came back onto our radar. I'm a detective sergeant here, so a case came across my desk and my investigator brought it to my attention where underwear were stolen from a female in our city. And then looking at the case, I saw a lot of similarities between that case and this case.
That case took 7 seconds to solve.
Dude,
he was
stealing dildos too.
He was stealing
that?
vibrators.
Yes,
He was definitely stealing dildos.
She gave it away. She said she basically said he stole my vibrator too.
Oh yeah.
He had the plastic bag too. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. For those guys listening at home, what Wes was referencing, which is like probably the best piece of camera work I've seen in local news in a long time, to obscure the woman's face, they just zoomed in on her fucking crotch while she talked about her panties.
And then they showed her nightstand where it was just
where she kept all her dildos.
Yeah,
for sure.
She's like, I can't believe all my dildos are gone.
That cop also didn't he was like, look, we heard the call about the panties and it was Diego. They didn't even have to question anyone else.
Did you see how comfortable he looked in the security footage, like trying to open locked doors? Like Diego doesn't give a fuck, bro. He's he's like a junkie.
He's been in there. He's in and out. He's a professional.
What does he do with all these panties?
Police say that the there's probably a lot of women that just haven't come forward because they don't want to sit there and describe their vibrators to a bunch of smiley, attentive cops. They're like, so purple with little nubs on the shaft. Yes. What about one of those little things that tickles your ass? No.
Was it the dolphin? Did it have the dolphin vibrator on it?
They're showing them pictures of different vibrators.
Yeah.
This one? Is it this one?
Yeah, no wonder they're coming forward.
They better have women cops doing that, because otherwise it's going to turn into a whole Diego situation. You get a room full of detectives showing pictures of vibrators to ladies.
All right,
ma'am, I'm gonna take these panties he didn't take for evidence. They're like putting them in a bag.
Just
cleaning her out.
Yeah, everyone's got a little Diego in them.
Yep.
All right, guys. Fellow mulleted man and musician who is poised to be the biggest star in the resurgence of manly country music, Morgan Whalen, pulled what will probably go down as one of the worst publicity stunts in entertainment history this week. The publicity stunt, by the way, guys, is a time-honored tradition in the music business. Some artists stage fights with other artists. Some artists enter or exit bogus relationships. And Morgan Whalen, beefs, right? Morgan Whalen added a little PR fuel to the raging inferno that is his current #1 album in the country by letting the world know that he casually uses the N-word.
Ooh, bad idea.
Yeah, I don't know.
Interesting strategy. That was this is what he's going for here.
You said he was #1, and then
he's still #1 today. But it won't be next week. Yeah, guys, after a drunken night out in Nashville on Sunday, Whalen and his posse returned to his Nashville home where they were a hooting and a hollering and making all kinds of racket. And that's when one of Morgan's buddies decided to call it a night, which is something you do not do when you're partying with the morgue man. The morgue man decides when you're done, not you. Anyway, Morgan wasn't happy with his buddy.
It must be terrifying to if you're like one of these guys who's just like you're just terrified to let down your way too famous friend.
Yeah.
And then he's just like demanding that you stay up and do more drugs with him.
You know, it's a double-edged sword too, because if you pass out first, he's like drawing dicks on you and stuff. But you have to you can't win.
He's writing the N-word on your forehead.
Yeah, you fall asleep, you're out of the crew, and I'm going to ruin your credit. So this guy was leaving the party, and Morgan was not happy with his compadre, and he expressed his displeasure freely. Bubba, can you roll the clip?
Take care of this pussy. Hey, y'all too? Hey, take care of this pussy ass motherfucker. Oh, fuck. Hey, Gracie, take care of this pussy ass motherfucker.
Okay.
Jeez.
Well, I mean,
All right. Good night to you too.
was that just
Yeah.
that's how he says goodbye?
Well, he says it more than just that time is what that means.
Yeah. Now, this might be slightly redundant, but in case you were wondering, his friend's white.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, they were. It was like,
Right.
and then who was that? Like an Uber driver? that was there? Or was
No,
that
it was his buddy. So they got back to the house in Nashville. They were like, they kind of made their own bed because they were like honking their horns in the middle of the street and just making a fucking racket. And their neighbor, right? This guy's got new money, so he moves in across the street and he's riding high. He's got #1 album in the country. The neighbor's hearing all this stuff, and he's like, "Hey, man, maybe I'll roll."
The neighbors hate him. They
100%.
they videotape him every time he comes home from.
How does he? How is he living this close to other people if he's that rich?
Ew, it's Nashville. He's in a starter home. He's in a starter rich man's home. So it's like a nice house, but it's just in a neighborhood.
He just got on the
Oh.
elevator right up, Will. He's just becoming rich.
And yeah, the elevator's now going to the park.
No. But if you're that rich and that like,
But he's
racist
not
and
that
you-
rich. He's
and
just
you know
becoming
you're
that
gonna
rich.
you're gonna spout off like that. You got to be on a farm or something.
Well,
You
not
gotta-
Morgan.
You got to like put yourself out in the country.
Yes, you
Right.
do.
Yeah, you're right. Well, he did put himself out in some respects.
Right. Yeah. I mean, he's done himself the favor of just losing all of his cash. So
Right. So right before he got it, too, we're going to get to that. But so TMZ released that video on Tuesday night, leading to major backlash from the liberal elite media. Radio conglomerate.
people who look down upon using the N word.
Right, I know. Yeah. Radio conglomerate Cumulus Media has directed their more than 400 radio stations across the country to drop his music from their playlist. Same goes for Entercom and their 200 stations, as well as radio giant iHeartMedia. CMT's pulling his content.
He grease manned himself.
Oh, yeah. And his label, who also happens to be his management company, dropped him. And Whalen issued this statement, guys, via social media, an apology statement. Bubba, could you play the clip?
It's a tough video for me to make, but a necessary one. My actions this past weekend were pretty short-sighted, and they have obviously affected my long-term goals and my dreams. I take ownership for this. I'd like to apologize to my fans, to my team, and on a more personal note, I think I have some growing up to do, so I'm gonna go try to work on that. I'm gonna take a step back from the spotlight for a little while and go work on myself.
Wait, that wasn't an I'm sorry, guys. That wasn't an apology for him calling his buddy the N-word. That was an apology for when he got booted from his performance on SNL for smooching with everyone in a crowded bar.
Oh, well, he's already so he can just run this apology back then.
Yeah, no, that was a different apology. I guess he didn't work on himself that hard.
Wait, that was
that long. Yeah.
Yeah. How long ago was that from?
Oh,
Like-
that was
like
in
a month
November.
ago? Yeah, 2 months ago. He was on SNL last month, I think, right?
This guy was never going to make it. He was always going to flame out. There's
And,
no chance.
Between that and then, he also got busted for drunken and disorderly. Can you imagine being his managers? Being like after he blows his fucking SNL shot, which he shouldn't have got. Like that was a big look. Like he was on the bubble. Then he gets booted. He gets to come back. He's like, guys, I'm sorry. I'm gonna work on myself.
Well, hang on. You can't say he shouldn't have got the SNL shot. He's got the #1 fucking album, and they did give him a second chance. He was on SNL.
I agree.
And then he was in a sketch on SNL. It was pretty funny.
What I mean, Mark, is when you're that level of artist, like
But this-
whether you get on SNL or not is a coin flip. It's a big
Right.
Yeah.
But this is bad. This is he won't get on SNL ever again.
So yeah, guys, his actual apology, I found it. He goes, "I'm embarrassed and sorry. I used an unacceptable and inappropriate racial slur that I wish I could take back, and there are no excuses to use this type of language ever. I want to sincerely apologize for using the word. I promise to do better." So he's coming with the do better again.
Yeah, the second he plays that buddy on the beer pong table next weekend, it's N-word left and right. Nice shot, N-word.
He'll get a deal with Gibson Records.
No bouncing, N-word.
Yeah, somebody will pick him up for sure.
Well, to give you guys an idea what kind of hit he's going to take, and this is just a guesstimate based upon, I've never obviously managed an artist this big, but based upon my calculations, he's probably looking at losing about $5 million this year. Just
That makes
from
sense.
His radio royalties that he'd been getting from all those spins.
Yeah.
That's bad. Let's take it to the internet real quick. We have some comments. First, we have Dave Allen at 2020 Allen 20. I'm sorry, at 2012 Allen 2012. Dave says, "Stay strong. Sorry, this is all happening to you." Yep. Next up, we have Amber Leanne saying, "If you get offended by Morgan saying that, then you better be getting offended when rappers say it too." That's
Same thing, Amber. Yep.
That's a take break, Amber. And then finally, the coup de grace, Kayla at Daddy0218. Imagine actually getting offended by the N-word. We still love you, Morgan. No one cares.
Wow.
Yeah, said by a white girl.
Mhm.
They were all white girls.
Cousins.
Those were all those 3 white people.
A lot of white girls. Well, yeah, guys, that's brought to you by one of our sponsors today, Stereo. Make sure to check out our weekly content on Stereo. It's a cool new app. Right now, we're doing a Wednesday and a Friday show on the new platform, and honestly, it's some of our favorite content we've ever made. Stereo is an app that allows us to interact directly with listeners in real time with a voice message system. So, like, we can do live Q&As, and also, it's like the listeners drive the flow of the show as much as we do. Will and I did one yesterday where I quizzed him about how unprepared I am to be a new dad, which, to let you in on a little inside baseball, is very.
You had some good questions, though. I think you're on the right track.
Yeah, and then Will tossed back a couple shots of breast milk on air and then reviewed it in front of his old lady. It was awesome. Anyway, guys, so stay tuned.
I was happy that it tasted good. If it had tasted bad, that would have been an awkward.
It would have been awkward. Yeah,
right in front of her.
You'd have to fake it. Guys, stay tuned after this episode for a little taste of what that show was like and what you can expect on Stereo. We'll have another show on Friday where Mark and Wes will be hosting. So go download the Stereo app and give us a follow. My Stereo handle is Pat Cassidy. Will's is at Heart Factor Will. Mark at Heart Factor Mark, and Wes at Heart Factor Wes.
Nice. Wednesdays and Fridays on Stereo. All right, boys. We're gonna talk about macho men next. Okay. We're going over to Asia. We're taking it to the Far East to talk about some new policies in China and Japan, and it looks like they're trying to get macho as they can over there. So I'm just gonna. Oh yeah. So I'm not doing the audio, but somebody.
Are you intimidated by these guys or something, Will?
No, somebody spliced in some
Yeah.
oh yes. Somebody spliced in some oh yes in here.
Will's get off to a slow start on this one.
I feel like he's maybe looking at these pictures. These guys, they're really macho.
I'm a little
Nice.
Oh yeah. All right, we're taking it to Beijing. A plan in China to get boys to do more sports as a way of making them become more masculine and manly has reopened a debate between those in China who urge diversity and those who are backing a more masculine society for China.
Well, they're not going to get more masculine by like reading, so that makes sense.
Well, it's sad. It's just not America where PE is being killed. It's China too. So the education ministry has said it aims to increase the number of physical education teachers and revamp gym classes to boost the masculinity of the students, get them looking like a bunch of mini Bruce Lees over there. The plan was in response to a proposal last May by a member of a communist consultant conference and advisory board to the government. Yeah, Pat, you might like these guys. They're calling for help to the boys who have become too delicate, timid, and effeminate to be schooled by mostly women teachers. And the ministry is basically saying, we're all a bunch of pussies over here, so everybody's got to get a lot harder.
Nancy boys.
They're just going to start beating the shit out of them. I mean, that's their move.
That's what it sounds like.
That's what they're going to do.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. Here's a quote from a concerned Weibo user, which is Chinese Twitter. It says, "It's hard to imagine such effeminate boys can defend their country when an outside invasion looms." That's one of several million comments on Chinese
This is
Twitter.
the worst news for boys ever
In China.
Yeah.
The whole world's making fun of them.
Yeah, I was gonna do the whole. The reason I was timid at the beginning, I was gonna do the whole story in Macho Man voice, but I felt bad. I think it's okay. Anyhow, seems like China's policy of only having one child per household has led to making some kind of soft males. That's the hypothesis: is that those only males aren't necessarily competitive or manly. And many are worried that these new policies are going to create more bullying, which they most certainly will. So good luck getting macho, China.
Yeah. I can't wait to get online after this and talk shit to Chinese boys.
I mean, the fact that this story leaked is the equivalent of your mom coming into the school and telling the principal to tell the kids to stop bullying you.
Exactly.
The boys in China must be so mad that this
Leave
guy
him alone. He comes home. He cries his walk home from school every day.
It's not a great.
Yeah.
They should just import like a couple kids from Alabama named Bubba and just throw them in the
Toss them in the
mix.
school.
Yeah, toss them in the school. Right, Bubba? You're You could bully these kids.
Bully.
If they were a
Give it
pledge,
thumbs up.
if they were in
They
a
were a
fraternity,
pledge,
you
bully.
could-
Yeah. just have him pledge Bubba's Alabama 2017 class.
Straighten them right up.
Fuck them up.
All right, taking it over to the land of the samurai, Japan. The president of the Tokyo Olympics Organizing Committee, Yoshiro Mori, reportedly made some questionable remarks during a Japanese Olympic Committee meeting on Wednesday, saying that female committee directors were, quote unquote, annoying because of how much they talk. Here's the full quote. He said, "If we increase the number of female board members, we have to make sure that their speaking time is restricted somewhat. They have difficulty finishing, which is annoying." And then apparently that was reacted to with uproarious laughter in the entire meeting room. Watch out, Japan.
You know who wasn't laughing at his wife who was watching at home.
Apparently this ex-prime minister pulls a lot of water in Japan, so everybody's just laughing it up. But might get a little too macho for 2021. You might get canceled. You got to watch out.
You know what that reminds me of? Do you remember the Klondike bar commercials? What would you do for a Klondike bar?
Yeah.
There was one where a fat guy, kind of looked like us, had to listen to his girlfriend talk for like 10 seconds, and he was like, and then the timer went off, and he got a Klondike bar, and he was like,
This guy loves that ad.
yeah, that's what he had to do for a Klondike bar, is listen to his girlfriend talk for a few seconds. All right, guys.
And well, hold on.
Oh,
Well, you might
all right.
get canceled for being too macho in 2021.
Sorry.
Something that'll never be canceled is the unrelenting comfort and style you get at MacWeldon.com. I'm telling you, these things are the best clothes I've ever worn. Not only are the Ace sweatpants just like the most comfortable thing you've ever put on your legs, they're sturdy enough to never break. And they're beautiful enough to wear in any picture if you need to go out on the town. There's never been, it's the pinnacle of the pants game. You can't make a better pant than the Ace Sweatpant by Mack Weldon. And Mack Weldon also offers a loyalty program called Weldon Blue, which gives you permanent 20% off as long as you spend $200 a year. It's incredible quality, guaranteed, or your money back. So they have the best pants in the world. They've got amazing underwear, polos, whatever you need, outerwear, jackets. They got 20% off if you spend $200 a year. It's just an unbelievable value. For 20% off your first order, visit MacWeldon.com/factor and enter promo code FACTOR. Again, that's 20% off your first order, so you can get 20% off everything you get there if you get into Weldon Blue after that at MacWeldon.com/factor, enter promo code FACTOR.
What a delightful order you're going to get a good order. It's going to be good. You know how we, and probably everyone has at one point joked about, what if you were in a coma during 2020? It wouldn't be that bad of a year to be in a coma, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Well, it would be a great year to be in a coma.
Right. Well, I wish I was in a coma. Well, soon we can ask 19-year-old Joseph Flaville, who was hit by a car walking in Staffordshire, England, on March 1st, 2020, which was 3 weeks before Britain's first national lockdown began and before people really had any concept or clue of how bad COVID was. So he, heard this thing called COVID, boom, hit by a car, in a coma until like a week or so ago. So he just woke up, and his aunt, Sally Flaville Smith, says, he won't know anything about the pandemic as he's been asleep for 10 months. His awareness is starting to improve now, but we just don't know what he wants. I just don't know where to start with it. A year ago, if someone had told me what was going to happen over the last year, I just don't think I would have believed it. I've got no idea how Joseph's going to come to understand what we've all been through. And I know that sounds bad, what they've all been through. How about the kid that had traumatic brain injuries that left him in a coma for 10 months, Aunt Sally, right?
What about the year of his life he lost, Aunt Sally?
That's pretty
what
tough.
they've all been through. All right.
That's pretty
Supporting
tough.
them.
Yeah, that's at least what I yelled at my computer when reading this. I said,
Sorry,
come on, lady.
Yeah, sorry you had to
What
stay
you've been through?
inside, Aunt Sally. That sucks for you. He lost a year of his fucking teens, you dickhead.
After I got really mad at Aunt Sally, I read the rest of the story, it gets a little more complicated, unfortunately for Joseph. Because you see, no one in his family is allowed in the hospitals because of the strict COVID protocols in the UK. So they're going to have to like explain things to him over the phone and over Zoom calls. In addition to all that's going on now with Joseph having to relearn everything, like how to move his fingers and talk while his brain's still recovering. He also caught COVID twice while in the coma and recovered both times unbeknownst to him. So they're going to have to explain that to him too. And if you want to help 19-year-old Joseph and his poor Aunt Sally, who can't wait to tell him how tough her 2020 was as soon as he can understand things, you can donate to www.josephsjourney.co.uk. Hopefully he has a speedy recovery.
It sounds like a real golden ticket situation in that house. Like
I don't buy this, bro.
The Charlie and the Chocolate Factory situation.
This website's legit. They don't need your money. I double checked this.
Oh Jesus, Pat! I mean, the kid just got out of a coma. It's legit. His Aunt Sally might have organized the website though. She seems like a pill.
Alexa sees him.
Yeah. All right. Pretty sure the kid got fucked up, Pat.
He's got no muscle left.
Yeah, but the argument over who has it worse is hilarious.
Yeah, I can't wait to tell him what we've been through. The kid can't even fucking move his fingers.
All right, guys, got some sad news we got to cover. Some big news Tuesday. 2 FBI agents were killed in Sunrise, Florida, which is Broward County, while serving a search warrant to an absolute monster of a human being. Agents 36-year-old Daniel Alphen and 43-year-old Laura Schwarzenberger lost their lives, and 3 other agents were injured when David Lee Huber opened fire on them as they approached his apartment to serve the warrant for a violent crimes against children investigation, a.k.a. he had tons of fucking child porn at 3 a.m. Tuesday morning.
And then he killed 2 officers.
He apparently watched the agents approach the apartment with a camera he had installed just because he knew he was such a piece of shit that this was coming.
He knew someone was coming for him.
Yeah, he had the camera set up just in case a kid walked by.
Yes.
What a piece of shit.
Yeah. The coward then took he opened fire through the door, which struck those 2 agents, killing them and then injuring 3 more. The coward then took his own life inside the apartment.
Wow.
It was the deadliest day for the FBI since 9/11. And what's
a good record for the FBI, but that's still terrible.
Yeah, it was awful. What's really crazy is it shed some light on the huge problem that Florida seems to have with child pornography. From the article, quote, Florida has seen a spat of high-profile arrests involving online child exploitation recently, including a pediatrician in Broward County, a 4th-grade teacher in Boca Raton, and a pastor in Central Florida. 14 men were arrested in Manatee County in January, and a December case resulted in the arrest of 13 men in Polk County.
Hold on. That's Grady.
That's
Grady Judge County. Thank God they got arrested, because if that's better than the fate they would have seen if Judd showed up at their door to learn what they were doing with those kids.
The ones that Wes is talking about, we covered. He did a press conference where he showed all 13 sick puppies' faces.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fucked up. Apparently, the detective from Broward County said that cases like this have doubled because of the pandemic, and kids are online more and therefore more susceptible to online predators. So, thoughts with the family of those 2 agents.
Can we study the brains on these people, maybe?
I don't know how to. Like, there's no penalty too much for these fuckers.
Take their balls. Take their balls, and if they live, let's mail them our pubes.
For sure, take their balls once you catch them, but maybe study their brains.
Yeah,
to find out what's going
officers. That's no good. No good all around. Sex trafficking, dead FBI agents. It's
bad. All right, guys. That's more or less going to do it for Hard Factor. A couple keynotes at the end. Kyle Rittenhouse, America's dweeb and girl puncher extraordinaire, is on the lam. Prosecutors do not know where he is. He apparently moved from his house to a safe house, which violated his parole. So the DA is asking for.
He's at Morgan Whalen's house.
Yeah, he's hanging with Whalen, and just putting up the white power sign. That's gonna do it for Hard Factor. Thank you guys so much for listening. Check out our Patreon if you don't mind. We have a cool Discord chat. It's really awesome. You can interact directly with us. It's a really cool community that we're growing. Also, there's 2 bonus shows a week that we do: the Hive Radio Hour and the Full Florida Man Friday. Monthly happy hours that we're hosting, exclusive merch, discounts, and stuff like that. So check out our Patreon if you're interested, and have a great fucking day.